Hi guys. Hold on, I'm turning on YouTube. There we go. Hi guys, welcome to Make With Me Monday. My name is Robyn Smith. It's Monday, which means it's time to make something together. So, hello, hi, and welcome. Today we're going to be making sprinkles. So, first off, you're lucky I'm awake, okay? Because it's a holiday, so I didn't take my kids to school because it's a holiday, but I still have my alarm set. And my alarm it might have gone off. I might have just turned it off. I don't know. But my son came in at like noon and he was like, hey, I'm going to go for a run. And I was like, why are you running? It's like so early. And he's like, it's noon. So yeah, wow, I slept that long. It felt amazing. Not gonna lie, total benefits of having kids young is that you can sleep in and enjoy life. So Kathy says happy Monday. Thank you, Kathy. Happy Monday to you. Let's make sprinkles. So I have 3. I think we're only gonna have time for 3, but I have 4 like sprinkle sets kind of started to be measured out, but I do want to measure out one, entirely with you guys. And I want to tell you some stuff I've discovered about sprinkles. So I made some sprinkles. Hold on, those are going to take forever to melt because I picked big chunks. I made some sprinkles for my sugar scrubs, right? And hold on, I'll show you. I made some fancy sprinkles for my sugar scrubs. Oh, they're all wrapped up. I don't know where they are. Hold on. Where are you? Okay, I don't. Hold on. I want to show you this. Just hold on. Of course, it's at the bottom. Okay. I made some sprinkles for my sugar scrubs. For example, this is an Earl Grey sugar scrub, and it has like a little teapot sprinkle that I put inside of it. Okay, so I made these sprinkles, and we have 2 types of sprinkles. We have like the basic sprinkle, which is like this, like the long skinny sprinkles. Are we back, Facebook? I apologize. I don't know what to do. I was telling YouTube, I restarted my internet. I did all the things. I don't know what else to do. Also, I did a call out. Sorry, YouTube. I did a call out, and it was like, if there's anybody in the Houston area who can just make my internet magical, you can have a lifetime supply of bath bombs, and I will, for the rest of your life, supply you with good bath bombs. Good bath bombs, if I could have good internet. Okay, so we have 2 types of sprinkles. We have the long, thin, other sprinkle, the classical cake looking sprinkle. And then we have fancy sprinkles. And I guess we have 3 types. This one is made in a silicone mold. So it's like, looks like a little, like, I don't know, hexagon or whatever. Anyway, with the fancy sprinkles, this last time I tried to make them, I was struggling with them. I was struggling. I couldn't get them to do what I wanted to do. I was getting very frustrated, and I was like, what is going on? I've never had this issue happen before, and I've probably gaslit a bunch of you. I'm so sorry. I have probably just put it on you and just been like, well, you just need to, I don't know what I said. If I did say and just brushed off your issues with sprinkles, I'm sorry. I'm coming to you now. Who among us hasn't gaslit somebody over sprinkles? Okay, but I'm coming to you now. I'm trying to say I was wrong. Okay? I found something out though, and I want to share it with you. We're gonna see if it does it this time, because I could just be completely wrong, and then if I'm wrong, I'm gonna have to apologize again. Okay. There are two types of SLSA. A lot of people don't know this. There are two types of SLSA. There is fine SLSA, and it's a very fine powder. It's very easily airborne. See all that dust in there? Very easily airborne. And you see how it kind of acts like powdered sugar or cornstarch, right? Fine SLSA. There's also coarse SLSA. See how this one like slides around? It's not getting clumped up. It's not getting stuck. It's cloudy plastic, but you can see how it's like definitely not poofing up into poofy clouds. Okay. So, coarse SLSA. Try it again. Coarse SLSA and fine SLSA. So, what I discovered was that fine SLSA keeps your sprinkles really flowy, gonna go-y, easy. Okay? Coarse SLSA can make your sprinkles real chunky. Kind of like they get thick fast. So, I have some SLSA already pulled. I'm going to do one coarse and one fine. We're going to start off with fine. And while that goes, I'm going to stick another one of these in the microwave. We're going to start off with fine, and I'm going to put my fine SLSA into here. And I'll give you a rundown on the ingredients as I add them to the second one. Just didn't want to like in the zone, like doing things. Oh, okay, and chat's disabled on YouTube. This is awesome. I love it. It makes me just so happy. Oh, so many people saying hi and stuff like that. Hi. Just sucked in SLSA. I see Sherry. Sorry, like it scrolls up and then I can't see. Are we back? Okay, cool. Hi. And there's like nobody watching on YouTube, which makes me think that I'm not connected to YouTube. I don't know. Just gonna keep doing. Gonna just keep trying my best. Okay. All right. So, Sherry says it's definitely Monday. I know. I don't understand why. Okay. Look, in here I have cocoa butter. I put stearic acid. I put polysorbate 80. I put my SLSA. And now I'm going to put some cornstarch. And we're going to make sprinkles. So, the fine SLSA that we used in this is going to make these sprinkles really flowy. So when I try to pipe it, it's going to be really flowy. And I'm going to have to let it sit for a minute and kind of thicken up. I think. I think that's what's going to happen. She's still not melted. It's because there's a big chunk in there. Okay. So I'm going to stir. I'm trying to break up all these chunks. I should have sifted my cornstarch, but I didn't do it. Oh, okay. Tracy says YouTube stopped after the first minute. Awesome. Love that story for us. You know, I just don't know. Anyway, okay. We're just going to focus on sprinkles. Serenity now. Okay. So we got our sprinkle batter. Because we're, I hate to say this, but we're coming up on Christmas. It's coming on Christmas. They're putting up trees. Okay. We're going to do red and green. Maybe white. I don't know. Viva la Mexico. So we're going to do some red and green sprinkles. Okay. So the mica I'm using is my Red Obsession from Nurture Soap. Let's mix it up. Okay. So yeah, so basically what I was saying is that the fine SLSA is going to be pretty loose, and we may have to like let this batter sit for a minute to thicken up, because if I put this in my piping bag right now, it would just goop right out, and then that's when your sprinkles kind of get like a weird flat look, you know? So I'm gonna leave this red in here for a minute and let it kind of thicken up. I'll keep checking on it, but I'm gonna leave that red there. And I'm gonna grab this one. So that has cocoa butter. This is now stearic acid. I promised you I'd tell you what I was doing this time. Stearic acid. And this one we're gonna use coarse SLSA. So another trick I've talked about in the past is using more polysorbate 80 when you're trying to pipe the fancy sprinkles, the quote-unquote fancy sprinkles. And I saw Kathy ask before my internet dropped on Facebook. Kathy asked, did I use a mold? No, I piped it. Some of them kind of looked weird. Okay, some of them kind of looked weird, but I piped that little teapot that's in this. This is like the last time I can do this, because if I have to replace the label on this because I jacked up this thing, I'm going to be really upset. So I'm not touching that again. But that teapot was made by piping it. Okay, then we're going to add polysorbate 80. So I do think if you're piping them, adding 2 extra grams of polysorbate 80 can be helpful, like if you're trying to do the fancy sprinkles. But that's not what is going to make the big difference, as I sadly found out when I like rode the struggle bus hard trying to get my sprinkles for my sugar scrubs that day. And it was because I decided to use coarse SLSA that day. I don't know why. It was just like a random, you know, something... random idea gets in your head and you just follow it, you know? So that's what I did. So this is the coarse SLSA, and I'm going to add that to here. And you see how it just kind of like flows out? And the thing is, if you have one or the other, I'm not necessarily saying you need to go get the other type, okay? I'm just saying so you know what's going on sometimes with your stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, if your bath bombs, if you're putting SLSA at or above 1% and your bath bombs are still fizzing out really fast, you probably have coarse SLSA. You can go get fine SLSA, or you can grind it and make it finer. If your bath bombs, if you're using them at 1% or more and your bath bombs are taking like 20 minutes to dissolve, then that's probably an indication that you have fine SLSA. And I've known that for a while about bath bombs, but I didn't know that it affected sprinkles too. So, like, lightning struck my brain, okay? I feel like I learned so much. Okay, so I would say if you have coarse, like that's not all the so this last thing that I'm adding is cornstarch. That's not all the cornstarch I'm supposed to add. I'm supposed to add a little bit more. But if you have coarse, type, and your sprinkles get thick really fast, I would just be cautious adding your cornstarch at a little bit at a time till you're ready to go. Let's check this bad boy. Oh, it's almost ready. It's still flowy though. It's still flowy. That's why, and I've said, I think I've always used fine SLSA, and I've always been like, you have time to work with it. It's going to take her time getting thick. And that is true. But with the thick, it seems like it gets thick real fast. Okay. Patty says, thank you so much for this. I was just wondering that the other day. I just discovered it myself, Patty, but thank you for thanking me.
I always try to, like, you know, anytime people are like having a struggle, I like try to, because I'm always just going to be limited by like my own experience, right? So that's one reason this group is awesome, because we like share with each other so much. But also that we're able to like kind of group think through things. So we have hive mind, you know, kind of going on. I don't know if YouTube is still recording. I've never actually watched a YouTube where it like bombed in the middle of it, then to go see later, because it says it's still recording. It's just, it may not, I don't know. Anyway, I'm just letting it go. Let it go. Hey, you want to hear a bad joke? My kids hate my corny jokes, but like they're so good. Why can't you give Elsa a balloon? Because she'll let it go. Okay, look. Oh my god, look how thick she is. It's already so thick. Oh my god, look at that. Look at that. You see the difference? Oh my god. Do you see the difference? You see what I'm saying to you? Can you see this? Can you see this? Red, fine SLSA, still fluid. Even though she was made first, like Lilith. This one, thick. So very thick. Oh my gosh. Practically unusable. Okay. What I would have to do to fix this would be to add more poly. These are the things I did when I was trying to make my other ones. It literally took me like an entire afternoon to make like 10 sprinkles, and I was like livid. I was like, why is my own recipe betraying me? Little Judas Iscariot. Okay. Of course, SLSA. So if your sprinkles are doing this, the first thing I would suggest, add less cornstarch until you get to the point where you're ready to, you know what I'm saying? Just like add less cornstarch. I haven't fixed it 100% yet. I'm just saying, like, these are the things I would test. Adding less cornstarch. And then if it gets this thick, you know, you can add some more cocoa butter. And I had to melt the cocoa butter separately and then add it into my sprinkles. So let's get that baby going. Okay. But it's gonna need more, liquid, okay? So that's what's going on with you. I'm sorry that I participated in a systematic gaslighting of you in your lived experience. I'm sorry. I probably did that. Okay. That is not the right one. Just kidding, put you over there. This is just, that had some stearic acid in it. This is just gonna be pure cocoa butter. So I'm gonna use this to add to that green. Okay, so we have our red. She's a good girl. She's being a good girl. We're gonna add our batter into our piping bag. I'm gonna use a tip. It's probably a mistake. Should I pop it in the microwave to heat it up? Joking. I'm gonna use a tip. It could be a mistake because if you're gonna use a tip, I would suggest like maybe using a where's my, of course I don't have one like ready, but the little sweet sugar bell piping things that I've shown you before where you can remove the top, because I won't be able to remove the tip if it gets like thick and hot in there. I'll just have to stick something in there and like try to make it work. But I know it's not like a super exciting live, okay? I know that, but I'm just still excited to share with you things I've learned along the way, okay? I'm gonna just flip that tip up so that this doesn't drip out onto my hand. And if you use piping bottles, I don't know why I couldn't like think of that word. If you use like the Sweet Sugar Belle icing bottles, which I do really love, one of the benefits is that you can reheat it if everything gets like thick inside your container, and it also makes it easier to like pull it out and save it for like a further date. Okay, so I have freezer paper here, I have my bag, I have my piping tip. I'm going to, oh, see how it's just, she's just like falling out. I mean, it's not like pouring out, but you don't want it to be pouring out because then that's too thick. Okay, but I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to literally just run it across here. I want straight sprinkles because I haven't made straight sprinkles in a long time. And if your sprinkles like start to go flat, like some of those have started to go flat, it's just your icing's not quite ready, which is fine. I'll just like add some more. This was bothering me that I couldn't do this. So it's fine. Okay. And I guess I should address the elephant in the room. Why? What is a cosmetic bath sprinkle? I just like jumped right in and didn't talk about that. So cosmetic bath sprinkles are, it's a sprinkle that's entirely made of cosmetic approved ingredients, as opposed to the like Wilton sprinkles that you can get from cake suppliers, and even most soap suppliers. When they have something that is marked as a bath bomb and or soap sprinkle, I have discovered that most of the time those are actually just Wilton sprinkles. Those are actually just like sugar sprinkles, which is fine. Okay, apparently it's fine if you want to use those. I'm not going to judge you. I do personally prefer to control all the ingredients. I don't know that I've ever found like a list of ingredients that are in sugar sprinkle. Oh, I'm lying, I have. But it's like sugar, it's like wax. I know that I have because I use that to like think through how I would make cosmetic sprinkles. But anyway, you'll have to include all the ingredients that are in the sugar sprinkle on your label, so that's a bummer. With this one, I think the only thing I would have to add to my current label is stearic acid, because I don't normally put that in my bath bombs. But yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is you don't have to use these, but if you did want to be able to control all the ingredients that you put in it, you could absolutely do that. We do have other Facebook lives that I've done where I've used the silicone mats, and that's actually the easier way. So piping them like this, I don't think that this is like the easiest way to do it, but I do think that there is something to be said about that classic sprinkle shape versus these in this little bottle I'm about to re-show you. Hold on. And one batch of sprinkles, they go pretty far. I mean, it's a small batch, but it goes pretty far. Like, you'd be surprised. And in the past, I've like put all my colors together, and I decided this time around I was going to try to keep my colors separate. So like, I do have red here, but these are squares. So I don't have any of like this classic sprinkle shape for my red ones. These are hexagons. Oh, there's some sprinkle shapes in there too, but these are with a silicone mat. And there are other Facebook lives where I've done that, so I don't want to focus on that, but that is an easier way, is if you use the right. Okay, so I'm gonna set these aside. You can pop them in the freezer if you want to, but I'm just gonna set those aside. All right, let's see if we can fix this guy. I don't know if we can, but we can try. Okay, and then that may be all we have time for today. I don't know. I feel like I'm like This is a disaster. Is this what happens when you make sprinkles? Raise your hand. You might have Cosmetic. You could also try, like, I don't know, if you have both, you could try doing half and half. Half coarse, half fine. I don't know what happened. I haven't tried it. Finding new things every day. All right, let's put this melted cocoa butter in here. We'll see what happens. Rose says, me. Okay, so maybe, perhaps, you have coarse salsa. S-L-S-A. Okay, so I'm adding that melted cocoa butter in. I'm stirring it in. I may gently reheat this. You can totally burn sprinkles, so you do have to be like really careful if you reheat them. But I may gently reheat this to see if I'm able to get it to be a little bit more fluid. Okay, but I'm like scraping the sides. Let me see what I've added so far. Okay, so far I've added 13 extra grams of cocoa butter. I'm going to also add some extra polysorbate 80. I think that would help. And then I'm going to pop it back in the microwave. I'm going to watch it like a hawk because I've burned sprinkles before and it smells pretty terrible. Just going to be real honest with you. Also, do you guys like my shirt? I've been saving it for Halloween, like October, fall. It's if you can't read it, it says, I like my men how I like, I like my bath bombs how I like my men. Slowly dissolving in the tub. Dark humor, hashtag dark humor, not for real. I've never dissolved somebody in the tub. And plus, it would take up so much lye, and lye is actually expensive, okay? Find some pigs. All right, so it's a little bit more fluid now. It's still pretty thick. I think if I work fast, we can get her done. So that was 13 extra grams of cocoa butter, 5 extra grams of polysorbate 80. If this already does it, if it already happens like this to you anyway, I would say add like less cornstarch from the start. See if that helps. Okay, I will keep working with it myself to see if I can find solutions. You know, like maybe we may have to, if I can find like a better way to do it, it may be something where we update the sprinkles recipe. I'm not there yet though, so don't be like, you said you were going to update the sprinkles recipe. I don't know yet, okay, because I don't know what makes her tick. Ow! But I'll keep looking at it for sure. See if we can. I only have pint jars left. Anyway, I only have bigger jars left. And big spatulas. Oh my gosh. This is so dumb. I could just wipe off this red one. I got a towel right here. Okay. I probably have more spatulas somewhere too. Okay, she's already getting thick again, but that's okay. We're gonna go with it. We're gonna just do our best. And that's on the website. I rarely open up my website, but I opened up my website to do like a fall release. And I had my phone on sleep this morning until noon, when I slept until noon this morning, air quotes. So when I turned it off of sleep, I was like, ew, what is happening? Because all those little cha-chings coming in from Shopify. I was like, now I have to work and like send orders. Okay. Let's see if we can make this happen. Oh, okay. YouTube finally gave up. Yeah, F you. Okay. It's not squeezing out just out the tip, but it still feels like we can make her work. We're gonna do it. Oh my God. Okay, so to reiterate,
we started off with 13 extra grams of cocoa butter, 5 extra grams of polysorbate 80, and I will keep playing with it. Sorry, my freezer paper is bent weird. It was the end of the roll, so I'm trying to put some weight on this side to make it stay down. There we go. It is a little bit chunky looking. I'm not sure why, because the ones that I did last time weren't like that. Maybe I didn't stir it very well after I added the stearic acid. That's absolutely a possibility. But I think it'll be fine. And in summation, if you don't like the way your sprinkles look, say I get done with this, and I'm like, oh, they look like a bunch of green turds, I don't like them. Once it's dry or cooled down a little bit, I can scrape it all up off of this freezer paper, and I can gently remelt them. I don't want to burn it, but I could gently remelt it, and I could make another, I could try again. So if you don't like the way that they look, you can try again. But also, if you get a bunch of curly cues and squiggly squoos and stuff on your sprinkles, it's okay, because when you, you're gonna let it dry. I like to use a soap, a 3D printed bath bomb scraper thing that I get from Inedible Soaps. I'm addicted to those. I wish I had more. I have 3 of them and I still don't have enough. I want more. So you could use that. You could use a dough scraper. Whatever you need to do, right? You just go, you break it up, you push them that way, and then you chop them, and you get your sprinkle shapes. I don't know why I was saying that, but I was. But okay, so, and when you do that, any weird curly cues that are in here, they're fine. You kind of don't see them. You don't really notice them. I have just a little bit left, so I'm going to actually squeeze that into this jar because I can reuse this later. But I think that was good. I think we did good things there, right? Did we learn something? I think we made some progress on the sprinkles front. Okay, so fine SLSA, coarse SLSA, right? I discovered things. If I discover it, I'm passing it on to you. I'm gonna keep making more sprinkles. I like to do a sprinkles day where I just make all my sprinkles for and then I have a bunch of sprinkles that I can use. But last time I have this. I'm almost out of these, but I have a bunch of rainbow sprinkles. But this summer it got really hot in my shop, and I had my sprinkles up on a high shelf, and almost all of them melted because it was 150 degrees in here. There was a point where my AC was out and it was really hot. So I had, but these ones survived because they were lower. So, heat rises, all that stuff. Anyway, I lost a bunch of my sprinkles, but I decided this time around I'm not going to mix them because then it makes it harder to use them. So this time around, making sprinkles en masse, I'm keeping them in little jars to separate them, and then when I want to do a mix, I can combine different stuff. So anyway, just trying to think of things. And roasted, yeah, it was devil's balls hot in Texas this summer. It was brutal. It was wicked and evil. And also, all of my plants are super confused right now. Why are you so hot? I guess anyway. All of my plants are super confused right now. They think it's spring. Okay, slow connection, cool. It's probably going to drop all of you guys anyway. I will leave links in the description. So if you want to get a really disturbing dark humor shirt, I'll put a link up for that. If you would like the recipe for this, because you're like, oh, maybe I could do this now. Okay, I'll put a link up for that. And then any other questions when I go back through, if I see any other questions, and I'll try to answer that. So that's it. Thanks for hanging out with me today. As always, happy making.